Ever wondered how and why Akshay Kumar, a taekwondo black belt holder from Thailand, worked as a chef, sold jewelry, Kundan jewelry in Delhi, also worked as a chef in Kolkata, and did so many other things and finally became an actor. And even when he did become an actor, he worked in so many genres. Started off as an action hero, moved into romantic hero, then did a lot of comedy movies, and finally works on movies which are also creating social awareness. This is a huge repertoire of his work, which I have put in very concisely. If you go and look into Wikipedia, you will find a lot of work. Why is it that he has worked in so many directions, in so many fields? And he also has a number of businesses. Why is it so? Which planet gives him so? We'll also look into a chart of another person who has worked as he's a very famous astrologer, has worked as an insurance agent, and also has worked as an overseer of when you have people who see whether you have done the right thing when you're asking for insurance, that kind of a job. He has worked for the government, he has worked in floriculture, he's worked in horticulture, he's also been on the board of board of governors of agricultural society in the government. He's also worked as a professor, as an engineer in the government agricultural government colleges, animal breeder, has a pet shop, had a good dairy farm, is a prolific writer. There is a huge repertoire to his work that I can put forward to you. And he's a good aged man, but is still working. So, what is it in their chart that makes them work hard and makes them work in varied directions? Let's look into our charts today and then let's see which is the planet and what does it give us. So, the first chart that I'm going to take here is of Akshay Kumar. Okay, in his chart, you see there is a retrograde Saturn. When Saturn, the Karm Karak, is retrograde, it gives you an ability to do multiple work. And beautifully put here Saturn is retrograde in a house that is a dual sign. So, dual signs give multiplicity, and Saturn, which is the Karm Karak, when retrograde gives you multiple work. So, it gives you a lot of work that areas you can work on. Unimaginable can be your field of work, which is the Karm Karak. When retrograde gives you multiple work, so it gives you a lot of work that areas you can work on. Unimaginable can be your field of work. So, can you see this in Akshay Kumar's chart? We'll talk about what more retrograde Saturn can do for your work. How can it affect your career? See, in Akshay Kumar's chart, it's in the fifth house and it aspects the seventh house also, which is the house of your public standing, and it is also the house of your businesses. The fifth house is also your house of name and fame. It is also the house of showbiz. It is also the house of games and martial arts. So, of all these things Saturn is working with, it is associated in those fields. Now, when we take up the chart of this gentleman here, whom I was talking about, you see his Saturn is placed in the seventh house. Again, a dual sign. So, the number of work, the intensity works and increases so much. Okay. And it is with Mars, the fifth lord. So, he has had a sports relationship. But because it is also, I would like to add that it is in the Mriksira Nakshatra. So the nakshatra that wants you to find the ideal job, that is from which you can get the maximum. And as we move on, we see that with this retrograde Saturn aspecting the ninth house of writing, publishing, and also speaking. So he's also been invited on various occasions as a speaker on many platforms. Again, the seventh house is a house of doing business. So, as I said, he's had business of horticulture, agriculture. He's also worked with animal breeding. He's had a dairy. He had also had done a lot of uh, pets. Yes, pet breeding also, dogs breeding also. Apart from working in insurance agencies as a supervisor, as a surveyor, and he's also been a part of the government organizations. So, as I repeat again, it's this retrograde Saturn that has given them an ability to work for so long and ability to work for so many different kinds of work, have such a varied career. Saturn is the Karam Karak. And when Saturn is retrograde, it is often, I often take it as there's a past life longing that is left to do. So you have a lot of work, you've got a deep desire to complete, to work in a number of areas. Again, as we talk about this Saturn, retrograde Saturn, please understand that its position in the D10 will become very important. In another chart, in another session, we will take up its position in the D10 also. But with this retrograde Saturn, please understand there will come delays, there will come obstacles, there will come a lot of failures, but these failures should not deter you. In fact, persistence is something that is very much required by a person who has retrograde Saturn. Persistence and patience. You need to persistently keep working on whatever there is for you and have the patience. You should not be just looking at the end result. You have to have the faith that you will get at what you desire, what you want in the end. But the main thing that you need to do is have that retrograde Saturn working for you to keep working hard and not hardly. Because retrograde Saturn can also give you a lot of laziness. When that laziness works, your work actually will come to a standstill. But if you focus on your work and work like a karmic yogi, where you are simply doing because you should, then you will see that the results will be excellent. You would be able to surpass many people who grew up with you, who started with you, and reach a position that even you did not dream of. Retrograde Saturn also has an ability to make you feel restricted while you're working. When your work is not yet ripe enough, like a fruit which is just halfway ripe, you may feel that you're facing a lot of obstacles, a lot of restrictions. It's just a matter of time. You need to streamline things because Saturn is, again I repeat, an administrative planet, and it is also a planet that gives you discipline. So the more one inculcates discipline and administration, streamlining their work, doing things in a proper manner, you will see that you will be able to reach a place very fast. That is you have done certain amount of work for that, and then you're going to reach that area of life. So I would, anybody who has a retrograde Saturn in their life and is facing obstacles, feels life is not happening at all, rest assured, you will be working really good. Probably not in the first half of your life, but the second half of your life, you will see yourself in a place that others might just envy. So, do write in your comments. Let us know how you found the video. Until we meet with you again, stay safe.
Please hit the bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.